are watching a production of Civic Center TV. Find our on-demand programming on civiccentertv.com and follow us at Civic Center TV on Twitter and Civic Center TV 15 on Facebook. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home. It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft. Thank you for joining us. We have a chance to recognize so many people on this program each and every day, and so it's really heartwarming when we see a municipal meeting like the West Bloomfield School District Board of Education meeting from Monday night, and we get to get those inside stories about people in our classrooms, in our schools, across our district that are making a big impact. It's even better when it is a student that's doing just that. Presley Potter from Scotch Elementary School, honored at last night's meeting by Dr. Danya Bazzi, the superintendent of schools, who had some very kind words to say about an evidently very kind young lady.
Presley was nominated by Ms. Pulliam and Mr. Scrivo independently. And I will tell you, every time I walked into Scotch, there was a lobby going on consistently. And the smile on their faces when they spoke of Presley was very, very strong. And they really have a lot of love for her and appreciation. From day one, Presley embraced her role as a supportive peer, helping Ms. Pulliam navigate her new teaching environment. Her genuine, mature nature made her an instant asset, consistently going above and beyond to ensure everyone feels welcome, embodying inclusivity beyond the classroom. And recognizing Presley, we celebrate not just her accomplishments, but the consistent goodness she brings to Scotch Elementary. Presley, your actions have not gone unnoticed, and we are proud to present you with this month's Superintendent's Excellence Award. Congratulations.
Coming up and being honored at last night's meeting, shaking the hands of all the school board members, big smile on her face as she sat there. I was at the meeting running our cameras on site last night while this was going on, and just looking at the reaction of her, so humble in her reaction to being praised by Superintendent Bazzi, by the Board of Education. And it really says something when a student makes that big of an impact that, as Dr. Bazzi said, she has teachers and administrators and students alike all lobbying for her to be recognized by the board, and definitely getting her due recognition last night at the West Bloomfield School District Board of Education meeting. So many other people, educators, athletics coaches, and the like were honored at last night's meeting. You can see that in full replaying today at 1 o'clock p.m. on WBTV, Comcast Channel 19, AT&T Channel 99, and as always, you can find your local municipal meetings on demand on civiccentertv.com. Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Plenty more to get to, a packed show once again on this beautiful Tuesday in Greater West Bloomfield. Stay with us.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. What people are watching in Kego Harbor. Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Hi, Lisa Brown here, reminding you that Michigan's presidential primary is February 27th, and the 9 days of early voting begin February 17th. Remember, in the presidential primary, you must choose either a Democratic, Republican, or nonpartisan ballot if applicable. Thank you for taking part in our democracy.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
This is Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. on cable and the radio, on the web too, and on social media. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
A fresh start lets you refocus, helping you live in the moment, where you can take the leap or take a bow, basking in the glitz and the glow of winter. Because when the snow begins to fall, you feel the excitement rise. Set your sights on a winter wonderland as Fresh finds new ways forward in pure Michigan.
And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft. Thank you so much for being with us. We often recognize the great work that our firefighters and paramedics are doing across our community. Not only are they fighting fires when they do occur in our community and responding to other building-related issues, but they're often responding to medical calls as well. And unfortunately, sometimes those do involve drug use or misuse and the many ways that that affects our local community. But the fire department partnering with other local community organizations to help curb substance misuse all across greater West Bloomfield and beyond. They got a special event coming up very soon, and joining us to talk about that and more is Deputy Fire Marshal Dave DeBoer from the West Bloomfield Fire Department. Dave, thank you for being with us today.
Good morning, Tyler. Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah, glad to have you on. As always, we love having the fire department join us on this program. And it's even more important as we're talking about a really touchy subject because it affects so many people across so many different lifestyles, including here in our community. Substance use and misuse is a real problem, even in a place like Greater West Bloomfield.
Yes, even though we have a wonderful community here with a lot of resources and a lot of support and things, people don't often think of this as a community that would have that need, but the need is everywhere. And unfortunately, this epidemic that we're facing right now it crosses all socioeconomic boundaries. It can affect any family. Nobody is immune from this. Absolutely nobody.
And so how does the fire department play a role in responding to this? Because not only are these issues present in our community, your team is often the ones that are the first there to respond and often enact those life-saving measures.
They are. Our paramedics are responding on these calls, and unfortunately, we're responding on calls that we're too late for, which is why we implemented the program last year, where we're getting Narcan out into the field and fentanyl test strips out in the field and Datura bags so that people can dispose of medicines and get rid of medicines that they don't need around the house. We're taking kind of an all of the above approach because this epidemic is affecting us here locally. And here in the state of Michigan, we're losing a person every 4 hours around the clock. So 6 times a day, somebody's losing a family member to this epidemic. It's literally that bad here.
Dave DeBoer joins us from the West Bloomfield Fire Department. He is their Deputy Fire Marshal with us on the Splash Live today. And you mentioned some of the resources around the community, nasal Narcan and other resources that are put in places like these Save a Life boxes that we know are at Town Hall, at the library, and at various places across our 4 communities. Why is it important that the community have access to these resources, not just if they need them or if they're seeking them out, but really anywhere in these common places in our community?
Yeah, there's been a little controversy. Some people didn't understand, what we were trying to do there. Are we actually making it better? The goal of those resources is to have them out in the field, have them in people's hands, because we know it takes us as paramedics about 6 minutes to get to you. And 6 minutes is way too much time if somebody's not breathing. If they've overdosed, we need to get that medication in them faster. And we have success stories here in West Bloomfield where that medication has been administered by bystanders and kept that person alive long enough for the paramedics to get there and save their life. So, and the importance of that is it gives that person that next opportunity to get into a rehab program, to get the help they need, and hopefully break that addiction. That's the goal of it, and we think it's working. It's not uncommon to hear from people struggling with substance abuse disorder that they overdosed multiple times before they finally said enough is enough and got help. So we're simply trying to get that person to that next opportunity to get help. And without it in the field and in people's hands, we would not be saving the lives we are.
There's plenty of more information related to health, to safety, and of course to fire safety as well on the West Bloomfield Fire Department's Facebook page, facebook.com/WB Fire Department. We're joined by Deputy Fire Marshal Dave DeBoer on the Splash Live. And a lot of what the fire marshal's office, what the Deputy Fire Marshal also does too, is going out in the community, assessing these situations, particularly investigating fires. But a lot of what you're also doing across the board with the fire department's duties is education related. How does education play a factor in not only addressing the substance use issue, but also people understanding the resources that are available to them that could help them save somebody's life?
The education does a lot of things, and we've been doing it for over a decade here in West Bloomfield. It breaks down the barriers, it breaks down the walls of that people and the stereotypes that people have of what does drug addiction look like. A lot of people think it's the old 1970s version or something you've seen in movies, and it's just not. We're seeing people that think they're taking a legitimate medication, but overdosing because somebody has laced it with fentanyl or carfentanil or some of these other drugs that are coming on the market that are flooding into our country. These medications, like I say, often look like a medication you take. These bad guys can get the pill presses and they can make them look like anything. They can look like a Tylenol. It can look like an Adderall. It can look like common medications, and people overdose on them. So we want to get that education out there. We also want families that are struggling to know that they're not struggling alone. We want to partner with them. We want to support them. And that's what this Hope and Healing program adds, that capacity that we can bring other families alongside them that have walked this same walk and allow them to support them and help them get help. Because addiction doesn't just affect that person that is struggling. It affects the entire family and their support network around them, and it can affect them in devastating ways. So as paramedics, we see that on a daily basis, and we want to interact and provide better care, provide something more to the people, and bringing these extra resources will do that.
Yeah, and it has those rippling effects too from those immediate groups related to the person affected by the substance use and then outward into the community, and so that can have a major impact. All the more reason that education plays a big role in this, and partnership too. You mentioned the Hope and Healing program with the West Bloomfield Fire Department. That's in partnership with another community organization, and you've got an event coming up at Fire Station 5 very soon that kind of encapsulates all that and gets the community familiar with this program. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Thursday afternoon we'll actually be doing the official rollout of the program. We've been working with them for a few months here. It allows us to hand out some information to family members so family members can get help. It gives us the ability to get somebody directly into treatment. People will be able to come to a fire station if they're struggling with substance use disorder and say, I need help. We'll bring them in. We'll get them that help. We'll get them. They have in this program with Families Against Narcotics, who runs the program, they have what they call their angels, and it's a network of volunteers that can come stand alongside that person and get them into a facility quickly. As paramedics, we're limited. We can take you to a hospital because by statute, that's all we can transport you to is to a hospital. So we're limited there, and that's not always the right resource for the person. This gives us the ability to take that person directly to a care facility for the care that they actually need. So we're really, really hopeful that this is going to help more people.
And what should people know about the Hope and Healing program as a whole? It's as you said, a partnered effort with Families Against Narcotics that kind of brings all of these different elements we've already talked about kind of into one specific effort. But how can the community participate?
Well, they can make sure that people know about it. Make sure it's known in their community. If you're in groups with whether it's a church, synagogue, or a temple, make sure the people around you and your groups and your sphere of influence know about these programs, because there's a lot more families suffering from this than people think are out there. And it might be the person next to you in your office. It might be the person that you see every week at religious services that has a family member that's struggling and doesn't know that this exists. So we want the public to know and the public to help partner with us to spread the word that help is out there. Things are available, and we're ready to give that extra resource to people and help them.
And that knowledge can be incredibly powerful, to just understand the resources that are available to you in the community, whether you're going to need access to them now or later, whether you know someone that needs access to them or not, because ultimately, while our firefighters, our paramedics, our police officers are our first responders, often those that are the first ones there to see these incidents, these overdoses, these other emergencies are just regular people every single day. And so I would imagine that makes it all the more important that people are aware of a program like this and that people engage in a program like this too, Dave.
Absolutely. We want all the resources we can for folks that are struggling. And again, it's not that wanton drug user, drug abuser. These are people that started out with pain medication or started out with an injury and it led into an addiction that we're now facing the consequences for. I think everybody is aware of the big pharma settlements and the big pharma issues that were out there, where the pharmaceutical companies really pushed these dangerous drugs on the community, and we're still seeing the repercussions of that. And that's what we're fighting against. This is your neighbors, folks. It's people near you. I guarantee you interact with somebody every day that has a family member that is struggling.
It's our entire community's fight. And there's a lot of strength in numbers. All the more reason we put these efforts out, and all the more reason we're glad to be joined by you, Dave, today to talk about this and to get this awareness out. Again, it's the Hope and Healing kickoff event with the West Bloomfield Fire Department and Families Against Narcotics is on Thursday. Dave, I don't recall if you had mentioned it earlier on, the time of day or the location for this, if people in the community want to participate and, of course, learn more.
Yeah, we would encourage people to come out. It's 3 o'clock at Fire Station 5, which is on Maple Road between Orchard Lake and Middlebell. The public is absolutely welcome to it. We would love to see people come and support and show that support for their neighbors and the community at large that needs this help. I think West Bloomfield is a great community with lots of supportive people and people that care about one another, which is what makes this the great community it is. So we'd love to see the public come out.
Yeah, I tell you what, as I make my way home at the end of many days and I go to a local gym on my way home, I see one of those Save a Life boxes right outside of it. And that just tells you everything you need to know about how seriously this community takes addressing the drug misuse and drug abuse issue person to person. Dave, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it. More information on the Hope and Healing program can be found on the West Bloomfield Fire Department's Facebook page at WB Fire Department. You can also get more information on this program and other resources across the community on this issue from their partners at Families Against Narcotics by visiting their website at familiesagainstnarcotics.org. And of course, join them out at Fire Station number 5 Thursday at 3 o'clock. For more information on the Hope and Healing program in Greater West Bloomfield. Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Plenty more news, information, and many interesting conversations coming up. Stay with us.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Missed one of our live broadcasts or one of your local municipal meetings? Check it out online at civiccentertv.com. Every meeting, show, and interview on demand. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy, and if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
One scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
When the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
I'm relying on luck, but who knows if it'll be on my side.
When it comes to disasters and emergencies, it's not a matter of if, but when. Take control. 1. Assess your needs. 2. Make a plan. 3. Engage your support network. Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
What people are watching in Orchard Lake, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Good nutrition can help make sure you have enough iron, calcium, and vitamin C in your body, which can make it harder for lead to enter your bloodstream. Help protect your family from the harmful effects of lead.
And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft. Thank you for joining us, and of course, we always encourage you to keep up to date with all of our original programming, municipal meetings, and more, live, on demand, and always with a program guide on our website on civiccentertv.com. Really important program coming up tonight at West Bloomfield High School for safety information for kids, parents, families, and the school alike. At West Bloomfield High School, their OK to Say program, which is a program that's really statewide. It's for parents, for guardians, for teachers, and more to anonymously report things that are going on in their school each and every day. If you have any sort of concerns about school safety, whether it's violence, whether it's maybe drug or substance use or misuse, bullying, maybe some safety issues. We know that we're in the age of school shootings and other violence, and if you have suspicions of that, this is a way to anonymously report that and get that back to that information back into your school district. There is a special presentation on this OK to Say program tonight in the I Center at West Bloomfield High School, 6 o'clock. Tonight with Walt Kreider, the presentation. This is particularly for parents, so you'll understand that these resources are available to you if you see concerns from maybe some of your kids' friends, or your kids are maybe acting a little bit off and are maybe concerned about someone in school but aren't saying things about it. There are ways to anonymously report this as well. There's plenty of resources you can access every day in the schools. Stop the silence, help the violence is the tagline of OK to Say, and a few different resources are available. Of course, say.com is their website, where you can also find information on how you can call them anonymously, text them anonymously, send an email, and you can even get the free OK to Say app on Google Play and the App Store. Simply search OK, 2 Say, as you see on your screen right now on civiccentertv.com. Again, that's OK, 2 Say.com. That presentation from Walt Kreider at West Bloomfield High School in the I Center, or as many of us elder residents, millennials and beyond, would call it, the library, tonight, 6 o'clock p.m. We're heading right toward Valentine's Day tomorrow across the greater West Bloomfield community and beyond, celebrating love from our community and all around the world. And at West Bloomfield Parks Connect, way ahead of that, as they had a very nice Valentine's Day celebration recently with seniors from across our local community and beyond. Their Valentine's Day lunch featured plenty of seniors out for recreation, some dancing, some great food, and a whole lot of smiles from the entire team at West Bloomfield Parks and everybody that enjoyed this event. Always festive over at the Connect Senior Center on 14 Mile Road and Farmington in West Bloomfield Township. And of course, you can find more information on all the programs over at Connect and across West Bloomfield Parks' network at wbparks.org. So many smiling faces, so many really nice pictures from this event you can also find on their Facebook page. If you need to pick me up early on this Tuesday, great place to go at their Facebook page, WB Parks, to find all of that. Live, local, social, this is The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Coming up after this break, accomplishments in athletics at West Bloomfield High School. We'll tell you the story of their recent signing day event. Stay with us.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. What people are watching in Sylvan Lake, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depressing stuff. That's what white people think. You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad. Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Follow us on Twitter at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft. Thank you for joining us. At West Bloomfield High School, signing day marks the culmination of a lifetime of hard work and big dreams as several Laker athletes sign their national college letters of intent. We had a chance to go out to West Bloomfield High School recently where a congregation of Lakers signed to play college ball at the next level. Today is one of Eric Pierce's favorite days. As the athletic director at West Bloomfield High School, signing day is his championship game as he watches Laker Nation's athletes achieve the next step in their sports dreams.
We've had these student athletes for 4 years here, and to see them develop and grow both as people and on the field, and to see where they end up. And I tell you, one of my favorite parts of today is listening to the coaches talk about them, but then in turn listening to the student athletes and having their chance to say thanks and seeing how mature they are and just how appreciative they are.
West Bloomfield football star Nigel Dunton, signing day once seemed like an impossible dream as he grappled with the growing pains of growing up. On this signing day, Dunton says achieving his dream of signing his letter of intent to Central State University made him grateful for the journey and for the people who helped him along the way.
It's a blessing, man. Like, my whole entire life, like, I've been through a lot of ups and downs, you know, where I'm from, you know what I'm saying? I was crying up there, you know, because it hit home for me, for real.
Total West Bloomfield athletes across 4 different sports signed their letters of intent on this day. However, volleyball coach Liz Ferguson, whose team had 3 players sign their letters of intent, said the West Bloomfield athletics community is one big team, evident by the massive gathering of student athletes who came to show their support for their fellow Lakers.
I had a lot of athletes I never met before. They're like, hey, Coach Liz, how's volleyball? We're going to be at the game tonight. And like, it was truly astounding to see the pride that they had and the students that came out, not even just for the football games, but for the volleyball games as well. We felt that same pride and spirit.
Perhaps this is what helped West Bloomfield grow into a powerhouse in a number of sports, excelling in football, volleyball, basketball, and many more in recent seasons, a culture of support.
That's what we're all about. We're about making sure that everybody feels that they belong, making sure that everybody knows that every sport here is important, that every sport is supported, that everybody that goes out there is representing the whole school, and that the school is there behind them.
I just know I had a good support system from a lot of people that's not even just my teammates, and it's like we come together as a whole, you know, the whole West Bloomfield community.
Those 11 athletes have forever left their mark on Laker Nation and now begin their journey to once again make Greater West Bloomfield proud. So nice to be out there at West Bloomfield High School for their signing day, and it's always amazing to see those athletes talk about their experience at West Bloomfield High School, be so grateful not only to their teammates who they've battled in the trenches with, but also to their coaches and especially to the community, and definitely was highlighted at their February signing day. Someone that was also very proud and was all smiles that entire afternoon was Eric Pierce, West Bloomfield High School Athletic Director, who joins us now on the Splash Live. Eric, thank you for being with us this morning.
Oh, thank you, Tyler, so much for having me.
Yeah, I mentioned in that story, that's kind of your Super Bowl. These signing days collectively, there's always a big smile on your face. There's so much excitement seeing you at each and every one of these. Take us through that experience for you as an athletic director to see these signing days and these athletes that you've been around all these years achieve what's been a dream of theirs.
Well, I tell you, I think in the piece that you just did, you summed it up really well. This is the culmination of years of hard work for these student athletes, and to be able to be a part of it, and to be able to see them mature through the years, and to show their appreciation to the school and to everybody that's helped support them and help them. And I always tell them we're the lucky ones. They give us so much to cheer for, but they in turn, you know, they're lucky as well, but they made their own luck in a sense. The amount of pride that we have in these student athletes going and representing us at the next level is just incredible.
Yeah, they go on, they do these great things, not only at the collegiate level, but we've been seeing more and more in recent years that a lot of our West Bloomfield athletes are going pro. We look at Matthew Judon in the NFL. We're looking toward, definitely a year from now, we'll be hearing Donovan Edwards' name, perhaps even Makari Page, and so many others that are making great accomplishments in other sports outside of football, too. You've been around for this journey. As West Bloomfield's kind of turned into a powerhouse across so many sports. What do you believe's been kind of that secret behind it?
I think it's just the general community feel of our school. We truly believe in Laker Nation. It's not just a mantra. It's not just a slogan. It's not just any of those things. We truly believe in it, and we live it. You see the amount of support that people have from our student body, from our community, from our admin. It's all those different types of things that blend into making what we are, the product that we put out on the field. And then making sure that we can support them in terms of having the right facilities and having the right athletic supplies that they need for the team. But everybody wants to come together. Everybody wants to perform well, and everybody has goals, and we try to give them the platform to achieve it.
And that goes back to when schools have issues periodically through the years, particularly financial, and administrations have to make tough decisions. Often some of those first things out the door are the arts and some sacrifices in athletics. But these are really great examples at West Bloomfield High School of what can be accomplished when a school district and when a community invests in sports. And that all kind of goes back to one question, which is, why are sports important in an educational environment?
Oh, there's a number of reasons why athletics are so important. The life lessons that you learn in athletics are huge. I spoke about this last night at the board meeting with honoring Greg Alessi and his 500th career dual meet victory. But it teaches you resilience. It teaches you how to deal with issues. It teaches you how to handle success. It teaches you to work for what you want to accomplish. All while going through time management and having to work with other people that you have to learn to trust. It's really a beautiful thing, and it mirrors things that we do every single day in our general lives as we get older. So athletics really sets a nice base for all these students that are out there, and gives them some common ground to work with as they mature and grow older and look to become bigger and better in life.
And you can see in these athletes, if you follow along with them, if you watch their body language, the way they behave on the field or on the court, the way they improve their game over time, and even the way they interact with their fellow athletes on their team and around that. They're learning those life lessons when they're practicing and when they're playing each and every day. And Eric Pierce is with us, athletic director at West Bloomfield High School. You've been a coach in some of these sports at West Bloomfield over the years, even before you were the athletic director. And so much of these lessons do come from those one-to-one interactions with coaches. And we had a great opportunity last night to honor one of the legendary coaches at West Bloomfield High School in Greg Alessi. He recently accomplished his 500th win. You had a chance to recognize him at last night's meeting, but we also heard from him about what's important to him, why he's enjoyed his time at West Bloomfield High School and has stayed there for so long. We have a clip from that, Calvin, back at Master Controls. We can show that to the audience, what Greg Alessi had to say at last night's meeting.
I want to say it's been a privilege being with the West Bloomfield School District for so long. It's an accomplishment, but it's really about the kids. And Eric was spot on. It's really about the kids and the relationships we build. I mean, one of the kids told me, Coach, 500 wins. You must be really old or really good. And I said, well, a little bit of both, probably. But I've been here for 35 years. I've been through a lot of different administrations at the high school. You got a great AD right here. He's wonderful. Everything we need, we get. He's understanding. He knows sports. So I really appreciate having Eric around. But it's the kids, it's the community, and I'm very grateful and happy to be honored. So thank you so much.
Eric, you've been around Greg Alessi for your entire career at West Bloomfield High School. You've seen the way he's continued to build and maintain that wrestling program. What has a coach like Greg Alessi meant to West Bloomfield High School?
Well, I tell you, the continuity with the Greg Alessi is something that you can't replace. I mean, obviously, he said 35 years at West Bloomfield, and when we talk about the years, there's been big teams, there's been small teams, but the one constant is that every single wrestler in that program is learning some of those skills and life lessons that we talked about. And he runs a fantastic program here at West Bloomfield. You talk about your unassuming coaches who truly put the kids in the limelight and make it all about them, and that's Greg Alessi. He cares for everyone, he supports everyone. He lets them know that he's there for them. And I tell you, it's a pleasure to watch his teams as they develop throughout the years. And currently right now, a lot of success in our wrestling program as they won the league championship and also the district championship and are going to be participating in regionals against Heartland on Wednesday.
Eric Pierce is with us on the Splash Live, athletic director at West Bloomfield High School. You can keep up to date with all of our West Bloomfield High School athletics across all of their seasons all year long by visiting westbloomfieldathletics.com. And Eric, we're in the middle of the winter sports season. We're getting toward playoff time, and our teams are surging right now. The volleyball team's doing excellent. You mentioned the wrestling team is deep in their playoff run, and we're getting toward basketball playoff season, too, with both the girls' team, one of the best in the state, and the boys' team, kind of quietly been climbing the ranks. They're approaching the top 10, currently ranked number 12 in the state by the D-Zone Hoops. Talk about these teams in this particular season and what has made them, in your opinion, so dominant across the board.
Well, the girls basketball program is one that we've been fortunate to see the last few years and how dominant they've been. And to be the number one team in the state and to have that target on your back and to be able to handle that the way they've had to handle it all year and go about their business. They definitely have a mission, and their mission is to win the state title this year. They feel like they, should be going for a three-peat this year, and last year when losing in the championship, I think just motivated them a little bit more to continue their hard work and to get back to the place where they can go and be state champions again. But they're an absolute pleasure to watch. And one thing that I do want to mention about the girls basketball team is we do have an event, a community event on February 23rd for their game against Stony Creek, where we're inviting all fifth graders in the West Bloomfield School District out to do an autograph signing, get a free T-shirt, get some pizza, and meet the players before their game, and then get free admission into the game as well. It should be an excellent, exciting event. But that's what we see with our girls basketball program. We see that they're wonderful members of our community, and then they're excellent ball players as well. When you talk about boys basketball, 9 straight wins for Arnett Jordan's group, and they're playing extremely well also. Currently tied for the league lead with North Farmington. You said they're ranked number 12, and that's true. They've had a tough schedule. They've played all the big boys in Division I, and done really well. And I couldn't be more proud of how they're playing right now. And I look forward to a run in a tough district for them. But we can definitely make some noise. Other sports as well have done a wonderful job this year. Our girls ski team just finished second in their conference meet last week. We had our snowboarding team was second in their state qualifying meet. Ice hockey's got a winning record this year, 10-6-2. Bowling's doing well and up and running. We have more bowlers than we've ever had in the program. Gymnastics, competitive cheer. I mean, it just keeps on going and going and going, and we're doing wonderfully. And I do want to mention Chase Smith, third in swim and dive. So he's our diver for our diving team. Finished third in the county meet with a score that we haven't seen in a very long time here at West Bloomfield. So an excellent job by Chase Smith with that as well.
Yeah, you're building programs over there. It's the coaches, it's the players, it's the community that's all coming together to help build these programs into the powers that they've become, and we see the effects that it has on our kids in their schools each and every day. Eric, anything else you'd like to say before we let you go today?
Well, I just want to say thank you, Tyler. You're always there to support us and Civic Center TV and the Splash and always giving us a platform for all that we do. You guys truly are excellent supporters of Laker athletics, and I really want to thank you for that. All of our students really appreciate it, and definitely the staff here as well. But I do want to reiterate the February 23rd date. Please make sure that you come out and support our girls basketball team in their last home game of the season on February 23rd as we have that community event. It should be a great time, especially for the fifth graders that are able to get autograph posters and everything of that nature. And then please follow us in the playoffs and give us your support. We need it out there, and we're looking to make a lot of long runs for everybody.
Yeah, we're hoping to get a lot of these teams into championship ball later on in this season on the court and other championship sporting events too across our very successful winter sports programs. Eric, thank you so much.
Thank you, Tyler. Truly appreciate you.
WestBloomfieldAthletics.com is the place to go for the latest information on sports across all seasons at West Bloomfield High School. Hey, look, we're getting closer and closer to spring season also. Baseball coming back, softball coming back, soccer, so many other sports across West Bloomfield all year long. You're going to want to follow along on WestBloomfieldAthletics.com. Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. We'll take a break on the other side, a beacon of culture in the Polish community right here in Orchard Lake. Stay with us.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on CivicCenterTV.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at CivicCenterTV.com and click Schedule at the top of the screen.
1 in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy. And if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
Live, local, and social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Join our team as we highlight people and events that are making an impact in the greater West Bloomfield area. Catch us live Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Watch us on demand at CivicCenterTV.com. Or watch us on TV at Comcast Channel 15 or AT&T at Channel 99. This is Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. On cable and the radio. On the web too, and on social media. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft. Thank you very much for being with us today. It is Tuesday in the greater West Bloomfield area, but being that it is Tuesday, February 13th, it's also Fat Tuesday, which is often a day that we recognize Polish culture in southeastern Michigan. But the Polish population in Michigan has one of the largest demographics across all of our state. And right here in Orchard Lake Village, we are home to the Polish Institute of Culture and Research that helps to not only promote a Polish culture in southeastern Michigan, but also brings a lot of that culture right here to our community with events and other learning opportunities all throughout the year. Joining us now on the program is Anna Biachuk. She is the Associate Director for Polonia Affairs at the Polish Institute. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Nice to be here, Tyler. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, glad to have you on, as you have a lot of really fun stuff coming up at the Polish Institute that helps us learn about Polish culture in our community and across southeastern Michigan. Let's start from the basics. What is some of the work that is done at the Polish Institute of Culture and Research?
Yeah, well, just to give you a little bit of background, the Polish Institute and the Orchard Lake Schools were actually founded in 1885 by Polish immigrants. So we have a pretty long and renowned history. So we're happy to be here in 2024 and to be able to continue that history and tradition, not only for the Poles living here in Metro Detroit, for Polish Americans, further generations out, but also for the students here at St. Mary's. So this tradition of being Polish and being a part of this campus, those two things really go synonymous, hand in hand together. And of course, we like to share it with the Polish community. But to answer your question, the Polish Institute, we like to focus on disseminating our history and tradition, right? And what does that mean? So here on campus, we have a very large repository of artwork, archival collections, historical databases, a lot of tangible information that a lot of people like to use for genealogical resources. But with that, we also have the historical component in which we like to educate the community and individuals all across Michigan, the Midwest, the US, and even abroad with our different events, our seminars, and our educational components. So we have a series of things coming up like you had suggested. Today, of course, is Fat Tuesday, so happy Pączki Day to everyone. It's a very big day here on campus. We have close to 1,200 pączki that are being shared with students, staff, administration, and the families.
Yeah, it's a really big day on the campus over there at Orchard Lake Schools. All the staff, all the families, and of course the students get free pączki as they go all throughout the community today in their learning efforts. But there's also learning efforts that are coming forward for the rest of the community later on this week. Coming up, an award-winning book author will be talking about some World War II history right here in our community.
Yes, so this Friday, February 16th at 6:30 at the Berkacki Academic Center, which is the brand new academic building that we have here on campus, Dr. Jadwiga Biskupska, who's an associate professor of military history at Sam Houston State University in Texas, she'll be coming in and she'll be discussing and lecturing from her book, Survivors, Warsaw Under Nazi Occupation. So what's incredibly interesting about this text is that she focuses on Polish behavior during the war. So German occupation, their role in making Warsaw the epicenter of Europe's most extensive underground resistance movement, which we talk a lot about it in the Polish community, the Polish schools. It's a topic that is discussed heavily, that we're immensely proud of, but we also like introducing it to the community abroad. So this text is actually award-winning. Like you had mentioned, she has won 2 different awards, the 2022 winner of the Helt Prize from the Association for Women in Slavic Studies, and she's also the recipient of the 2023 honorable mention for the Witold Pilecki International Book Award.
And it's so interesting. There's such robust history within many cultures that are in our local community. And of course, we have such a big beacon of Polish culture at the Orchard Lake Schools campus that's on display all throughout the year. Anna, beyond this program this week, what are some other additional learning programs or maybe initiatives that are going forward that people in the community can participate in if they want to learn more about a big population in southeastern Michigan?
Yeah, so I will say the big thing is we have a very large renovation that's going on of our Galleria space, which is where we'll be showcasing our art, because it certainly does no one any good if you have it behind closed doors. So the whole point is not only to open it up to the school, but to the community. So we'll actually be hosting our very first event March 9th in the Galleria, but our grand opening will surely follow afterwards so that we can have, the long-awaited opening for everyone. But the March 9th event is actually called Blooms of Tradition, and it's featuring a designer who originally has roots here in Detroit, Michigan. She's now based in California. It's called Recultured Designs. So what she does is take Polish traditional textiles, so the clothing that we see in the regional costumes of Poland, and she modernizes them into these really wonderful contemporary pieces. So we'll be having a fashion show on March 9th at 5 o'clock that celebrates women, right? Celebrates this new fusion of the old and the new. We'll be utilizing models from our Polish community as well as the campus community as well. All proceeds go to fund the Polish Institute of Culture and Research, but the designer, Aleksandra Lisiecki, she'll also be having a pop-up at the Galleria as well. So individuals will actually be able to buy the fashion that's readily available that they see on the catwalk, as we say, and that she has online as well. So we're really, really excited. It'll be a wonderful evening for women, for everyone alike. So that event is open to everyone. Most of our events are open to the public unless, I suppose that they're in the Polish language, but still, we always invite everyone to come and participate and get interested because art and music are both universal to everyone, regardless of the language you speak. So last thing I will say, though, is we have a pisanki workshop, which if you've ever seen the traditional eggs, the method is called wax resist. And so they're dipped in different dyes and they're pretty intrinsic and pretty extensive. I mean, the designs are far beyond my capabilities, but there are certain individuals who are extremely gifted who enjoy this craft. So we have a pisanki workshop that's backed by popular demand. Last year we had a huge turnout for it. So this time around, we're doing 2 different classes on March 16th at 12 and at 3 o'clock. So you'll be able to get instruction, you'll get the materials, and you'll be able to take your creation home as well.
I may have to go out there just for comic relief, just to see, just give everyone else something else to look at and be like, you know what? Mine isn't so bad now. I'm making a lot of progress here. Anna, thank you so much for all this information, for previewing these really interesting events that are happening right here in our backyard.
Yes, my pleasure. Thank you for having me. And anyone who has an interest in any of these activities, the events, anything in the future, learning more about our institute, I encourage everyone to check us out online. That's www.pickrol.org. That's PICROL. Thank you, Tyler. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, glad to have you on. And I like that you mentioned the Galleria event happening in the Galleria March 9th. That's Blooms of Tradition happening Saturday, March 9th, apropos, right after International Women's Day on the Friday before there. And we had a great opportunity to get a preview of the Galleria earlier on this year. I had a chance to see that, some previews of it with Dr. John Radzilowski when he was out at the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society's 50th anniversary event. So definitely something you're going to want to mark your calendars for, a beautiful new facility. Thank you so much for your time.
Excellent. Thank you, Tyler, and happy Punchki Day, everyone.
Yes, to you as well. PICROL.org is the website for more information on events and other happenings from the Polish Institute right here in Orchard Lake Village. Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. We'll take a short break. On the other side, more stories from across our 4 communities.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on civiccentertv.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at civiccentertv.com and click schedule at the top of the screen.
A fresh start lets you refocus, helping you live in the moment, where you can take the leap or take a bow, basking in the glitz and the glow of winter. Because when the snow begins to fall, you feel the excitement rise. Set your sights on a winter wonderland as Fresh finds new ways forward in pure Michigan.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Follow us on Twitter at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. What people are watching in Keego Harbor. Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft. Hey, if you've missed the show, if you're coming in a little bit late, fear not, we're always available on demand on civiccentertv.com. Another great place to find us is on our Facebook page at Civic Center TV 15, where we broadcast the show live 5 days a week. We post links to all of our other special events and stories as well, and we'll keep you up to date on other things happening all across our 4 communities and around Oakland County. In addition, if you subscribe to our YouTube page at Civic Center TV, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, you'll get notifications whenever we go live or whenever we post a new video, so you'll never miss anything from across the greater West Bloomfield community. You know, look, it's been a beautiful week. People are getting outside. They're getting out on the trails. They're playing games in our local parks. They're not going out to events, which is, you know, pretty good news if you're looking for Sylvan Lake game night, since it's been on a 2-week hiatus last week and this week. But the good news is we don't know what the weather's going to be like next week. It could change really quickly, and it's coming back on Wednesday night next week at 6:30 p.m. at the Sylvan Lake Community Center. Back Wednesday, February 21st with mahjong, card games, board games, and even more. No euchre tournament this month at this event at the Sylvan Lake game night, but plenty of fun and a lot of nice people to spend a beautiful evening with at the Sylvan Lake Community Center. Find more information on upcoming Sylvan Lake game night events on sylvanlake.org. Also going to want to mark your calendars for Tuesday next week at Gino's Pizzeria and Restaurant in Keego Harbor, where once again the Optimist Club of Keego Harbor will be holding another euchre tournament. Hey, the first one went off without a hitch and was a ton of fun, so they're bringing it back again here in the month of February to help support programs that support the kids in Keego Harbor, right in the heart of the lakes. Tuesday, February 20th, 5 p.m. is when it all kicks off at Gino's Pizzeria. There'll be a euchre refresher clinic, followed by, of course, pizza and soft drinks from Gino's. Then the games all begin at 6 o'clock. You can win some cash prizes as well while supporting the kids and having a great time on a Tuesday evening with our friends in the heart of the lakes. To get more information on this, if you want to register, you want to participate, just got to email their president. Email presidentmike930 at iCloud.com, which you can also see on this form on your screen on civiccentertv.com for even more information. Or if you see Bill Bertakis around town, which is a pretty easy thing to do, he's everywhere, every day, a true beacon of the Keego Harbor community. Ask him about that and ask him about anything Keego Harbor Optimist, and he'll give you the full lowdown. In the meantime, again, President Mike 930 at iCloud.com is the email for more information on this upcoming Euchre event. Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live, 5 days a week on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lake 7. The latest news, information, and interesting conversations from across our 4 communities. From our entire team at Civic Center TV, I'm Tyler Kieft. Thank you for joining us.